so you don't need to actually do them. And okay, this is a really good first episode. It's Kingdom Hearts 2 again. It's been a while. We finished the Kingdom Hearts 1 randomizer, and now we're doing the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer. The thing is, this is the PC version, and as such, we'll get into the actual game in a moment. I'm stuck on this menu for a reason. Just bear with me. The thing is, the PC version, the experimental features, that being the enemy and boss randomizers, don't actually work yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a normal standard randomizer. The Garden of Assemblage also is a little iffy when if it wants to work, so there's a real high likelihood that we'll just end up going through the game chronologically. But as a result of all of that, I'm going to go through on Proud mode. I think Critical mode might be just a little too much, because we still very much could end up with very bad rolls or very good rolls. But I don't think standard or beginner mode is very fair, because we will know what bosses we're facing and the bosses we are facing like actually work within their arenas. So I don't need any like extra handicaps towards the game or from the game towards me to make things work, if that makes any sense, right? So we're going to go through on Proud mode. I think that's a pretty balanced reasoning. So you might be wondering, if that is not randomized, what will end up being randomized? And the answer is just the items. But that's exactly the same as we had in the Kingdom Hearts 1 randomizer, and that was a lot of fun. So hopefully this time around we may actually end up switching Keyblades a little bit more, because abilities and such are randomized as well. So Keyblades can have more use than just being like, this is the one with 22 power, so I'm going to keep using this for the entire series. Just purely theoretical, right? Another thing that I actually... I had this script, the mods... Well, we call them mods, but really they're just like Lua scripts. But I had this script installed for the Kingdom Hearts 1 randomizer. I entirely forgot, but I can just hold down the X button and it'll do a full combo. I don't need to mash X. So that's going to save my thumb from a lot of like pain. Well, not necessarily pain, it's not that button mashy of a game. It's a very button mashy game, but the actual speed at which you need to mash isn't that high. But it's mostly going to save a lot of sound, because obviously every time I press the button, usually you would hear things like this, right? That ain't needed. And that's fantastic. I also should mention that not only items, I said only items, things like abilities and such should also be randomized. So that means that literally everything that's not an enemy or a boss has still been randomized. So we still very much could get like Glide in the first, like, well, level ups don't really give you a lot of abilities in this game, right? No, level ups still do. So when we level up to level 2, we very much could get Glide. Or like Second Chance. Or those could be locked behind something really fucking stupid and annoying, I will never get them. They could be in a weapon, we've had that before. They could very well, I think we had I think we had Second Chance or Once More on a very bad Keyblade the other day when we tried this, and that was just not a good time at all. Because we were no, it was Donald. Donald didn't have Cure until we got a weapon with Cure on it, and then Donald was forced to use that weapon, which is just the fucking worst. Anyway, so we got items. Question mark? We're supposed to get a potion there. We didn't. A potion. Did I say a potion? I mean a picture. Also starts with a P. We could save, I suppose. Enough! Okay. This is the only item that I've tested. Usually, I don't know what this is, but I'm pretty sure usually it's not an Aether. Because you don't have magic at this point in the game. So this is as far as I've tested. From here on out, everything I go through is 100% blind. I also got a text, because of course I always do when I'm recording. I'll check that out afterwards. Couldn't possibly be that important. This is also the first time that I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 2 on the PC version, and I have no idea why it switched to keyboard prompt there for a moment, but you know what? It's the PC version, and there you go, that's your proof. I'm playing with a PlayStation controller because this game, it's a PlayStation game. So I'm curious to see how well the PC port actually holds up. I'm assuming it's not going to be that bad. And I'll do another mail delivery and then we'll go ahead. And I don't think you need that much money. The PlayStation, not the PlayStation 1 version, that would be horrible if there was a PlayStation 1 version of this game. It's quite impressive for a PlayStation 2 game, but PlayStation 1, no. The PC version of Kingdom Hearts 1 had some graphical glitches at certain points, but by and large, it worked fairly well. So I'm assuming that the same will hold up for this game, but eventually I'm going to have to play at least like this game, Kingdom Hearts 1 I've already played. Not all the way to the end, admittedly, because of the randomizer. And I also will need to play Birth by Sleep on PC just to see. But I'm kind of hoping that Birth by Sleep will eventually get a randomizer, which gives me a reason to play it. Because without a randomizer, I played Birth by Sleep semi-recently, like half a year ago, I think, on the channel even. So I don't really have a reason to go play Birth by Sleep as of right now. Is there any chests around here? I think so. Maybe I just wait with the chests in Twilight Town until I have at least dodge roll. I've earned enough money. I don't need a lot of money. And Mithril Stones. Well, are we doing that again? At least there's no Dalmatians in this game, which is a real good start. But we're just going to get a little Mithril stuff again, because that's just what happens, apparently. All kidding aside, though, I am very happy to be back in Kingdom Hearts 2, because as much as I... Well, I was going to say as much as I like Kingdom Hearts 1, I don't know if that is exactly an accurate representation of my sentiment towards that game. But as much as I tolerate Kingdom Hearts 1, I enjoy Kingdom Hearts 1 for what it is, which is a bit of a janky game that couldn't make up its mind as to what it was supposed to be. But generally, I think Kingdom Hearts 1 is a fine game. Kingdom Hearts 2 is just infinitely better. And Kingdom Hearts 3 in certain ways is even better than Kingdom Hearts 2. I really do like the combat in Kingdom Hearts 3 quite a bit. It's a little bit like overstuffed with different mechanics, but by and large, I really do enjoy it. I think Kingdom Hearts 2 has the perfect balance between like all the systems in the combat. That seems like that animation didn't quite work out in the timing as it's supposed to. I think this is one of the... Not even one of the... I think we're supposed to get our first bonus, which is area recovery, here in a moment. The moment we get that, we'll know if... Okay, level 2 as well. We get a Serenity Crystal and defense increase. And a High Potion as the bonus. I think usually this bonus is area recovery. So I'm now 100% sure that is also randomized. And our first chest as well, which is negative combo. That could actually be really good. Hold on a moment, that could actually be really good. Because negative combo allows you to make a combo. We have combo plus on our weapon, so especially because of that. It actually allows you to, if you have enough of them, I'm actually going to unequip it because I don't have enough of them. To have a combo that's just combo finishes. And if you have good combo finishes, which I don't, so that's part of the reason that I figured, you know what, actually let's not do that yet. That can be really good because you can just like, if you're standing still, surrounded by enemies, you just press X and you use explosion. Which is more or less just free fire gun. Because it doesn't cost any MP, and you can just do it right away. You can't spam it as much as Fire Gun, obviously. But if you're powerful enough, you don't need to spam it. Against enemies, anyway. Against bosses, that's a bit more of an issue, obviously. Dark Crystal. Synthesis materials, I don't think anything regarding synthesis has been randomized, so... that doesn't really matter too much. I really need to get dodge roll or area recovery, one or the other. Preferably both, obviously. Full blow plus! Hell the fuck yeah, dude! Hell the fuck yeah! Wrong thing. I like that. One of the first items we got is a full-blown plus. And you can see immediately, suddenly these dusks they die at one combo. That's the difference that Full Bloom Plus makes. That is amazing. That is great luck. So far, I'm happy that I chose to play this on Private Mode, because if this was on Standard or, God forbid, even Beginner Mode, that would have been overkill. Also in Beginner Mode, I think you get like 5 AP defense and power-ups, or strength-ups, whatever they're called in this game, which is just overkill. That might just be in Kingdom Hearts 1 though. I don't know if Kingdom Hearts 2 does that as well. I think it does? I don't think I've ever really played Kingdom Hearts 2 non-randomized on Beginner Mode. Maybe on my very first playthrough? Maybe? But that's been like over 10 years at this point, so I couldn't remember. Is it just me, or is the field of view actually like higher in this version? It probably isn't. I'm probably just going crazy. That's not a cutscene you can skip. So, will we be doing a lot of jump cuts in this series? Frankly, in this first episode, I intend to just like keep on rambling. Maybe I'll record 2 episodes back to back, and we'll do that. But I would very much like to hear from you, because Kingdom Hearts 2 is a game which is a lot longer, and can have, like, especially with all these boss fights we don't have randomized, it can be a little slower than Kingdom Hearts 1 in certain regards, sometimes. So maybe, like, cutting out the boss fights and stuff like that, we've already seen that a million times. Maybe that's, like, a good idea, right? Then again, I didn't do that in Kingdom Hearts 1, and I think part of the fun of what results in that is not seeing a boss fight in a weird place. Like, that is what really made Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizers in the first place so much fun, especially for making thumbnails. But I think seeing me fight these bosses with the unique ability set that this randomizer allows me to have, and like the unique weapon loadout and stuff like that, it might also just be like reason enough to... This is just annoying. That might just be reason enough to not cut. So I'm going to not cut anything in this first episode or 2, and then we'll see going forward from there, both from the perspective of me having to record them and just like seeing how it feels to keep rambling on about them, but I would also very much like to have you guys' input on this video and maybe the next, as to whether or not you would prefer me to just like skip the boss fights, or maybe like skip just like going walking around the world. Because the worlds are a little bit larger as well in Kingdom Hearts 2, right? And I'll have to do a little bit more like exploring and walking around to find all the chests, which obviously the chests are very important because they could literally contain anything. It's not like abilities have only been switched with abilities. It's literally anything where you can get something. Case in point! We got a Keyblade! Anything where you can get anything, anywhere where you can get anything, that could be randomized into literally any other thing. It's not like items to items, key items to key items, abilities to abilities, keyblades to keyblades. In that regard, it's a lot more random than the Kingdom Hearts 1 randomizer. The little bit of upside that we have with the size of this game, let's see, just items. It's a very magically powerful keyblade with fire boost, so that's good to keep in mind, I suppose. But it's lower in strength than even the struggle bat, which is just kind of sad. Anyway, I've been trying to finish the sentence for like a minute now, so let me try it again. The upside we have to this is that I know Kingdom Hearts 2 a lot better than I do Kingdom Hearts 1. So that means I don't have to go searching around for as many items, and also we actually have a list per world showing us whether or not we've gotten all the chests in that world and how many are left. So we don't have error recovery or guard at this point, which is kind of an issue for the struggle tournament. Except that I don't have to keep mashing X. I need to remind myself of that. I can just hold X. Which, to be fair, without Combo Master might actually be worse, because it's harder to time your hits. And if you miss a single hit, your combo resets. So that's not great. I think I might have killed Hena. Nope. That was horrible. So that is more or less all the announcements, I guess, that I have to make about this series. And going forward, I guess we'll just have to figure it out as we go. How is this series going to look and whatever. I did consider briefly doing another Kingdom Hearts 1 randomizer immediately after, and giving a little bit more time to the developers of this randomizer to maybe implement the enemy randomization as well, because it's something that they just have in the PS2 version. And I also considered just doing the PlayStation 2 version, but that is also bothersome to set up, so I didn't want to do that, really. But then I figured, you know what, the Kingdom Hearts 1 randomizer, they're still working on it as well. There's been a lot of progress as to like implementing logic and a hint system and stuff like that, as far as I understand. So if I give them another like a month or two while doing this series, I think by that point, I don't want to say by that point it will be finished, because this is probably one of those projects that's going to be like an ongoing development, adding new ideas and new features as we go along. I say we, I am in no way affiliated with the Kingdom Hearts 1 randomizer. But as time goes on and things work, I feel like this is probably one of those kind of projects where, don't you dare hit me, you son of a bitch! Where more features will be added, and maybe eventually there will be enemy randomization in Kingdom Hearts 1 as well. I don't know how well suited that game is from like a engine perspective to do that. Then again, Kingdom Hearts 2 clearly doesn't function too well with it either. So, long story short, we'll see how things end up going. For now, Kingdom Hearts 2, and maybe after that we'll go back to Kingdom Hearts 1, but the ultimate hope is that by the time I finish this Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer, somebody will have made a Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Or, God forbid, a Kingdom Hearts 3 randomizer. I'd be up for Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. I prefer Birth by Sleep because there would be a lot of interesting options with all the commands. Just imagine when you meld commands and you're trying to make like Fire and you get Mega Flare or something like that, right? That would not be great, by the way. Mega Flare is not a great ability to actually have in most scenarios. There's a couple of fights, and specifically for grinding purposes in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Mega Flare is great, but other than that, for like boss fights and stuff, it deals such shitty, horrible damage. It's good for dealing a little damage to a lot of enemies, but not for dealing a lot of damage to like a single enemy, if that makes any sense. So, usually you want to lose this fight. I say this every time I do a Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer. Usually you want to lose this fight because the reward he gives you is better than the rewards for winning. But in both cases, it's actually 2 items. So it literally doesn't matter if I win or lose. Because I don't know what either item is going to be anyway. And you get the trophy regardless. And then I think if you win, you get like the belt, and if you lose, you know what, let's just lose. Can we still lose? That's the question. And if you lose, I think it gives you like some kind of medal, which gives you more stat increases than the belt. Something along those lines anyway. So, you know what, you are so horrible at this, I can't even be bothered losing this on purpose. I might be mistaken, it might be that you get 3 items when you lose versus getting 2 items when you win. We get a Savannah map and an energy crystal. I think you always get 2 items. Gonna be honest, those weren't the best items. But they were items, so yay. Yay me. Let's go look around Twilight Town a little. Because I think there might be some chests around town that I want to pick up before moving on with the story in any significant way. I just don't exactly know where they all are. I always get confused between Twilight Town and Digital Twilight Town with the chests, because they're not in the same places and it's really fucking annoying. And now I also have Kingdom Hearts 3 in my mind with where the chests are in that. For this map specifically, obviously. Because we have a lot of chests around these parts in Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. Like the one that's over here somewhere. But that's clearly... Or is that in the non-data version of Twilight Town and Kingdom Hearts? I don't know! I don't know where the chests are, okay? There's no chests around here. Never mind. I am just being an idiot. Yeah, clearly I'm just being an idiot. There are some chests around the other part of Twilight Town. But clearly there's none around here. Are the shops randomized? No, they are not. Okay, that is probably a good thing. I don't think I've ever checked this shop out. What do you have for me? You have nothing for me. I guess nothing you have could have been better than the Full Bloom Plus that I already have, but that's an accessory. I think that might have been an armor shop. So, what do we do? We just go into the train station, I guess? I haven't been paying attention to... Okay, so yeah. Okay. There is a couple of items around... Not here. That's also in non-digital Twilight Town. Things like this, right? I could definitely cut out the 7 wonders of Twilight Town. Because literally nothing of interest to the randomizer will happen during this. We just go up to these things. Oh, wait a second. Do I actually need to do this? I don't. That's good. Okay, never mind. I seem to remember that in the randomizer I did before, it just automatically completes all of these for you. So you don't need to actually do them. And... Okay! This is a really good first episode! Like, ridiculously so. I love it. It's amazing. The moment we become sore... Oh, we immediately get a form boost as well. Oh my god, I love this. So yeah, we don't need to do the Wonders of Twilight Town other than the very last one. We might need to do this one. We don't. I think there might be a chest in this area up here, and then we can move on to finishing this very annoying little subplot. Yeah, it's probably also just, yeah, it's in non-digital Twilight Town that there's a chest here, I think. More than one chest, as a matter of fact, I think, but we can't really do anything with that right now, so on we go. And I don't think you can actually explore the non-digital Twilight Town as Sora until your second visit to Twilight Town. Like this part of it, anyway. Obviously, you can explore quite a bit of the, like the plaza and the sandlot and that kind of thing. I almost didn't see you there. And Auto Velo! I mean, it's an auto ability, which is generally kind of annoying. Can I go into the station? Nope. I need to go to the Haunted Mansion. Generally kind of annoying, but at least it gives us the option to go into Velo form, right? Which is kind of amazing. I still don't know if traveling through the air like that is actually faster. It's always felt faster to me. If anybody has any insight as to... Honestly, the question I'm trying to ask is if anybody's like into Kingdom Hearts 2 speedruns in 2021 and watching them, can somebody please tell me whether or not the getting on the skateboard and then like doing the jumping mid-air trick to like get a lot of distance out of a single jump? The thing I just literally did. I don't know why I'm explaining what I did. You just saw it. If it actually is any faster than just walking, because it feels faster than walking. It's definitely slower than if I had something like glide or even like aerial dodge and then glide, which is just super glide. That is definitely faster, but compared to just normal walking on Roxas' speed, is the skateboarding trick faster in any meaningful way? Because I feel like it is. Then again, it might just be because I am pressing like button inputs and that makes me feel more involved, and as such feels like things are happening like more rapidly and there's just more things happening, right? That might just be what's going on there, I don't know. But I should just look up a Kingdom Hearts 2 speedrun and see if they do that trick, because if they don't, it's probably not faster. If they do, it definitely is faster. That was also very easy. I got a defense and strength up. Very much welcome. And to the mansion we go. We might actually be able to do the entirety of the Roxas section in this first episode. And people say that the Roxas section of this game takes way too long. Admittedly, I'm skipping all of the cutscenes, and this first part of the game as Roxas is very front-loaded with a lot of cutscenes and a lot of long cutscenes as well. So if I were watching the cutscenes, it probably would have taken me an hour and a half to get through this rather than half an hour. At least. But I still don't think, in the grand scheme of things, right, I feel like Twilight Town is slightly shorter than most other worlds. But not by a lot. Well, the second and third visit to it are much shorter than any other world that you do visit. But just like the first visit to Twilight Town, just the start of the game, I feel like it's even shorter than like your average normal world that is also not the first visit to Hollow Bastion. But again, that might just be because I've not played this game with cutscenes in a while. When I play this game, I don't want to say always, but I generally play with skipping all of the cutscenes because I know the cutscenes inside and out. I literally do. I couldn't describe them line for line to you, but if I were watching them, I could probably like speak along with most cutscenes line by line. I know these games way too well, especially Kingdom Hearts 2. And Behaestra, which, are we going to go for a magic build whenever we get magic, that is, in this series? That would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? Drive boost. Definitely there's also going to be a lot of drive going on, because we've had form boost, drive boost, we've got master form already, we have auto valor. Also not unimportant. Which might give us Edge of Ultima. Oh, other question. I don't know if there's a Kingdom Hearts 2 version of this mod, but in the Kingdom Hearts 1 randomizer I mentioned that there is a mod that restores the textures for the Heartless to the original version of the game rather than the Final Mix version. I usually quite like the Final Mix version of the game. And another drive boost. Holy crap. As far as like most designs go, Kingdom Hearts 2, it's a little bit more hit and miss for me. Kingdom Hearts 1, I just definitely prefer most Heartless as their Final Mix versions. But things like the Centaurs in Land of Dragons, I think I like the original versions just a tad bit better. And that's a ribbon, which I think is armor. So yeah, there we go. I don't know if Sora... I think Sora will take the armor you have equipped. Those will not just disappear. With Keyblades, if I equip a different Keyblade than the Kingdom Key right now, it'll change back to the Kingdom Key, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe that's with the Struggle Bat. Maybe if you equip something over the Struggle Bat, that thing you're equipping at that point will get deleted when you get the Kingdom Key. Something like that is going on anyway. I don't exactly know the details anymore. I just know that something is kind of fucky with the transference of Keyblades between Roxas and Sora, or something like that in Twilight Town anyway. So far, the randomization has been really, really kind to us. And again, I am very happy that I did choose to go for it with Proud Mode. And Secret Anthem Report, that literally does not matter, but sure, thank you anyway. And you know what? I think this is a pretty decent point to wrap up this first episode. We've had a lot of luck, things are going very well, we're about 30 minutes in, and there's a boss fight coming up and not that many more items. So, next time, more Kingdom Hearts. I was really hoping that camera would close up on Roxas's face a lot more.